Right now, when it comes to security, there is nothing to divide between us, and there are no separate issues. Everything affects all of us, and everyone needs to be fully informed. We firmly believe security decisions about Ukraine must include Ukraine. That was our position in Geneva, and always security decisions about Europe must include Europe, and the same applies to Canada, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, other countries, and every nation. And this is simply fair, and it actually works, because when something is decided behind the back of the country or its people, there is always a high risk that it simply will not work. Friends, now we have a good result from Geneva, and from the meetings and talks that took place there, Ukraine has the framework developed by our teams in Geneva. That framework is on the table, and we are ready to move forward together with the United States of America, with personal engagement of President Trump, and with Europe, with leaders, and with all partners who have their strengths and capacity to help. And I'm ready to meet with President Trump, and there are sensitive points to discuss. We have them still. But we must also not lose sight of reality. Russia's war against us is not in the past. It's happening every single day. Every day Russia takes Ukrainian lives. Last night there was yet another massive attack on our country, so we cannot relax or forget that Ukraine still needs defense support, security support, support of our resilience every day. And as long as Russia has not taken real steps toward demobilization, real steps to shut down its war machine, steps that would clearly show that Russia is serious about ending this war of aggression, we do not have the right to stop working to support Ukraine. We must protect lives, strengthen air defense, and hold the front line, keep sanctions against Russia, finally channel frozen Russian assets to bolster Ukraine protection, and work out finally the doable framework for the deployment of the reassurance force Ukraine of the coalition of the willing by signing of a relevant memorandum of understanding.
I would like to welcome the fact that the Geneva meetings on the 23rd of November allowed for an open and constructive discussion between Ukraine and the United States, and that both parties deemed it a significant step forward. We are clearly at a crucial juncture. Negotiations are getting a new impetus, and we should seize this momentum, not because there is reason for alarm. Ukraine is solid, Russia is slow, and Europe is steadfast, but because there is finally a chance to make real progress toward a good peace. But the absolute condition for a good peace is a set of very robust security guarantees and not paper guarantees.
We should keep up our work on preparing robust security guarantees. As Emmanuel has said, that's the driving purpose behind this coalition. And security guarantees was an important element of the draft US plan, because Ukraine needs real assurance that Russia cannot come again in the future. So we need to prepare the planning and financing to build Ukraine's future force so it can defend itself. Our military planners, who've worked really hard in recent months, will continue to work on the readiness of that force. And I urge colleagues on the call this afternoon to firm up their national commitments. We need to keep the pressure on Russia. We must move forward with a full embargo of Russian energy. Finally, and crucially, and I know I've said this a number of times before, colleagues, but we must never lose sight as we strive for a ceasefire and a just and lasting peace, that we must support Ukraine right now. It is a big mistake, in my view, to take our eye off the ball and to focus only on the future. We must support Ukraine now. So even as we work towards peace, and we are, there can be no letting up of support to keep Ukraine in the fight. And that requires urgent solutions on things like financing and capability. We, the UK, are ready to move with the EU on providing financial support based on the value of the immobilized assets. This is the best way to show Putin he should negotiate. rather than trying to outweight us. And of course, we need to keep supporting Ukraine's defense. Ukraine is holding the line fearlessly, and it's the line of their sovereignty and their defense, but it's also our line as well, because this is about European freedom, our values and our security. And so the UK will deliver more air defense missiles in the coming week. And I urge everyone in that spirit to dig deep